Welcome back to Library Choice YouTube channel. Today's class we'll be learning how to make this beautiful detachable blouse. Okay, it's like a mini blouse. You can wear this on a spaghetti top or a soup dress. It's very simple and it's beginner friendly. If this is something you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned till the end of this tutorial. Thank you. This is actually a requested video and you can cut it in form of a kimono or you just cut it with armhole. So now I have my bodice like this and the measurement I use in folding this is the length measurement. That's where I want this blouse to stop, and this is around 9 inches. Okay, so that's where I want my blouse to stop. That's just 1 inch below my armhole line. The armhole I'm working with is 8 inches, so I just made this blouse as long as that. And then the width that I used in doing this is my round upper chest measurement. So the round upper chest I'm working with in this case is around 34 inches. So 34 inches divided by 2 by 4. Okay, I'm folding the front and back together. 34 inches divided by 4 is 8.5. So now I have the 8.5 inches like this, and then I added 1 inch seam allowance to this to make it 9.5. And when folding this, you can see I folded this into 2 like this, and then while folding it into 4, I left space for my zipper allowance for the back. So this is my front and this is my back. So now here, this chalk line is going to be my starting point. I'm just going to go ahead now and rule this as my starting point. So this is going to be like a mini basic body. Then the next thing I'm going to do, from my center front, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, and the shoulder I'm working with is 7 inches. That's 14 inches divided by 2. I have 7 inches here, and then here I'm going to do a shoulder slope of 1/2 inch. And for my neckline, I'm using a neckline measurement of 3 inches by 1 inch for the front, and then 3 inches by 3 inches for the back. So I'm going to connect my neckline. Using my curved ruler. I hope you can see my chalk markings. That's for the back, and I'm going to go ahead and connect for the front as well. So this is my neck curve for the front. Then from my neck point there, I'm going to connect my shoulder slope using a straight line. So this tutorial is actually very beginner friendly. So now the next measurement I need now is my armhole measurement, and like I said, the armhole I'm working with is 8 inches. So I have my 8 inches here, and then I'm just going to connect it as seen. So to draw my armhole curve, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement downwards so that I can have a straight line, and then here I'm going to note the midpoint of this, and then on the midpoint I'll go inwards by 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to take my chest circumference measurement here, so which is 8.5 inches. So this is the 8.5 inches here, and then I'm going to connect my armhole curve. Now I'm trying to take the 3 points together. Okay, so now that I have my 3 points matching, I'm going to draw my armhole curve like this. Okay, so this is for my front, and then for your back, you don't need to include this 1/2 inch that you went inwards with. Okay, so this is going to be my armhole curve for my back. Okay, so I'm just going to connect from here all the way to that point. I'm not going to include the 1/2 inch that I went inwards by. Okay, so now that I have this, the next thing I'm going to do now is to shape this. And to shape this, I'm just going to go inwards, just like we do our normal shaping here. So I can just go inwards here by just 1/4 inch or half an inch, because I don't just want this to be straight. So now to do this, now I'm just going to go inwards by half an inch, and then I'm going to bend it. So which means from my allowance also I'm going to go inwards by half an inch, and then I'm going to connect this like this. So now I can cut out this pattern. So after cutting this, I'll cut out my back armhole first before cutting the front. And then I'll also cut out my back neckline, then my shoulder slope. I'm adding half an inch allowance on it. So after that, I'm going to cut my front neckline alone, and then I'm going to cut my front armhole. So I'm removing the back, I'm cutting just the front. So after this, now I'm going to shape it. So you can see that we have like a keyhole shape on both the front and the back. So now this is actually optional and it's up to you. I'm going to treat them differently. So for the back, it depends on how open you want this to be. So now from my hem here, I'm going to measure around 3 inches, or you can just measure from here. How wide do you want it to be from where your neckline stops? So you can measure just 3 inches from where your neckline stops here, and then from there, using your curved ruler, you're going to connect it to your side like this. So whatever shape you choose is totally up to you. So I'm connecting it like this to my side. So I don't want it to just be at the end point. So I'm coming out by half an inch to connect it. And once I connect it like that, I'm going to slash this off. So this is going to be my keyhole point. So after cutting this now, I'm going to open it. So you can see this shape that I have here. If you are okay with this shape, you can leave it as it is. But if you want it to be deeper, you can go as deep as you want. That is totally up to you. I can just shape off like half an inch from this. That's if I want it to be deeper. So this is the shape that you're going for is totally up to you. Depends on what you want. So now I have my front. Now I'm going to work on the back. So for the back, remember we have our 1 inch allowance here. So I'm just going to draw it out to make this easier for us. So for the back, I want the shape, the keyhole area to be really deep. So from my neckline, I'm just going to go downwards by 1.5 inch or 2 inches, and then from there I'm going to connect it to the side, just like I did for the front. So you can do it in a curved way like we did earlier, or you can just do it in a straight sharp way, just like I'm doing it. So now I'm connecting from that point all the way to my sides like this, and then on my zipper allowance area, I'm going to extend it outwards like this. So now I'm going to take my scissors and cut this out. So now I'm cutting this off. So like I said, all this shape is totally up to you. There's no static shape to this. So when we cut this now, this is what we have, and then this allowance is just going to lap on each other like this. And then this is the shape we're going to be having for the back, and the shape we have for the front. Okay, so now the next thing is for us to cut out the sleeve. So the sleeve is simple, it's just a regular basic sleeve, and it stops around 6 inches. So it's just the cap sleeve length. It's a short sleeve. Then I'm going to be adding gathers to it on the hem to make it a full long sleeve. Okay, so the length of this is around 6 inches, and my actual long sleeve measurement is 22 inches. So I added 3 inches extra to this because I want it to be puffy. So the measurement I used in drafting this is this hem, the hem of my actual basic sleeve multiplied by 2 is what I use for the length, and then the width is just what will complete my full sleeve, including this with my extra 3 inches for the bulkiness. So now the next thing for me now is to go ahead now and sew this. So to sew it, I'm going to place this front like this, and then I'm going to place the back on it and then join it on the shoulder. So you can see I'm going to place the shoulder on it like this, and then I'm going to join it on the shoulder and then join it on this side in bits also. So this open part now, I'm going to be turning it with bias, or you can fix lining. If you're going to be adding lining to this, just cut your lining the exact same way you have cut your fabric. And then on the back part here, I'm going to be slashing open one side, so whichever side you choose to use to place your button on. So here now I'm just going to slash the zipper allowance here open. I'm going to slash it off. So now that I've slashed it off, the next thing now you can see, if I fix my button here, I'm going to make my button hole here now, and this is just going to lap on it like this, so you can see what we have there. So for my sleeve, I'm going to gather, because this is a simple tutorial, I don't want it too long. For the sleeve, I'm going to gather this straight fabric. I'm going to gather it to fit into what I have on this hem, and then on the lower part here, I'm going to create a casing and then pass an elastic to it. Then I'm going to sew this sleeve to my body. So that is all I'm going to do basically. So I've gone ahead to sew this now. You can see I joined it together on the shoulder, and then I gathered my fabrics to the cap sleeve, and then I sewed it to the armhole, and I just joined it on the underarm and the little that I have on my bodies. So you can see what it is looking like. You can see the keyhole effect that I have here, and this is the sleeve. So on this sleeve, you can either join a straight fabric to it like I did and gather it, or you can cut a flare and then also use your elastic to gather it at the hem, whichever one. A flare will of course give you a fuller effect, but because I added to this also, you can see that it's giving me this ball effect, and you can shift it to any length you want because this is hand elastic. So you can see how lovely this blouse is looking. It's detachable, and you can just wear it on maybe a spaghetti top or anything that you just want to give this effect. So it's really beautiful and elegant. So I'm going to turn it now so that we can see what it looks like on the back. So this is the effect we have on the back. You just fix your zipper or whatever it is that you want to hold it, and don't forget to hem all of this with your bias, or you turn it with lining. So this is what the back is looking like, and this is the underarm area. So you can see that it's just little. So when you're doing yours, remember I just went down here by just 1 inch. So because you're going to be turning this, you should be mindful of that. So you may want to go down after your armhole by 1.5 inches or 2 inches, so that you have enough allowance to either turn your lining, or you have allowance to use your bias to hem it. Because you know I've used 1/2 inch to join this to my sleeve, and I'm left with just 1/2 inch. So assuming I want to turn this now, I'll not be able to turn it, or I just need to turn it very tiny, which may give me issues. So you just need to go down by 1.5 inches from your armhole point for your bodies, and you are good to go. I hope you enjoyed making this tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.